In the summer of 2019, one of the most audacious thefts in American history took place in plain sight, in the driveway of a casino worth billions. The man responsible was not a master thief, not a mobster, not a professional hacker. He was a valet driver, and after stealing $32 million, he simply vanished. Cut to grainy surveillance footage. A young man in a crisp valet uniform jogs across the entrance drive, tosses keys to a coworker, and walks calmly into the night. His name, at least the name on the employment records, was Ethan Vega. To his co-workers at Aurora Sands Casino and Resort, Ethan was quiet, polite, forgettable. He was 28, drove a beat-up Toyota Corolla, rented a cheap apartment off the highway. He never gambled, never drank, always picked up extra shifts. The kind of guy who blends into the background.
He was the last guy you'd suspect, you know. We had guys who would try to sneak a joyride in a Lambo or take $100 from a glove box. Ethan wasn't like that. He kept to himself, didn't even talk sports with the rest of us.
But investigators would later discover that Ethan had been quietly studying the casino for nearly 3 years. Not the games, but the system behind the games. Casinos run on two currencies, cash and security. Aurora Sands was no exception. With nearly 3,000 slot machines, 100 gaming tables, and a private VIP floor, the property saw millions of dollars flow through its cage every single day. The money was moved around the property by a fleet of armored carts and hand trucks, escorted by security guards. The carts were parked in a restricted area near the main valet drive, a point of overlap that Ethan noticed on his first week. The loading bay where cash carts came and went had one glaring vulnerability. It shared the same road used by guests' Ferraris, Bentleys, and Rolls-Royces. And the person controlling that traffic flow? The valet. Investigators believe Ethan's plan took at least 18 months to execute. He began by memorizing the shift patterns of the armored truck crews, what time they arrived, how long they stayed, which guards were lax, which were careful. He learned which nights the casino held high-stakes events, when the vault would be at its fullest. He even befriended one of the graveyard shift cage runners, buying him drinks off shift, asking casual questions about how tips were counted and when cash got wheeled out.
Looking back, he was probing, but it felt harmless, like he was just curious.
Ethan's genius was that he never needed to breach the vault or disable the cameras. He just needed to insert himself into the system at the right moment. August 3rd, 2019, 2:17 a.m. The casino was hosting a private baccarat event that night. According to court filings, the cage held just over $32 million in chips and currency, an unusually high amount for a single weekend. At 2:15 a.m., an armored cart rolled out of the cage and into the service corridor. At 2:16, Ethan pulled a silver Mercedes AMG to the front of the valet drive. It belonged to a VIP, parked hours earlier. At 2:17, he made a call to the loading bay security desk. The guard on duty later testified that a man claiming to be from Armored Transport said the second truck was delayed and that the cage would be sending one more cart through the main drive for express transfer. 2 minutes later, Ethan walked casually into the loading bay, clipboard in hand, wearing a reflective safety vest he wasn't authorized to have. Security footage shows the guards wave him through without question. He took the cart, pushed it himself through the valet lane, loaded the bags of cash, shrink-wrapped bricks, each weighing nearly 20 pounds, into the trunk and back seat of the Mercedes. Then he drove away. No gun, no mask, no alarms triggered. The entire operation took 7 minutes and 34 seconds. The FBI believes Ethan drove straight to a parking garage 6 miles away, where he abandoned the Mercedes and transferred the cash into a rental van registered under a fake name. The Mercedes was found the next morning, pristine, with a full tank of gas. By then, Ethan Vega had already clocked out of his shift and disappeared. The casino security team didn't even realize the money was gone until 3:30 a.m. when the cage attempted its routine tally. By then, Ethan had a 90-minute head start. Local police quickly handed the case over to the FBI, who treated it as a major theft. They searched Ethan's apartment, empty, his bank accounts, untouched, his phone, powered off and discarded in a dumpster behind a gas station. It was as if he had evaporated. The FBI traced the rental van to a shell company registered in Wyoming. That company had been formed online 6 months earlier, paid for using prepaid cards bought in cash at gas stations across 3 different states. The surveillance footage of Ethan was clear, but it was useless. No record of him buying plane tickets, bus tickets, or renting another car. Interpol was alerted. Border agents flagged his passport. Nothing. Ethan Vega had ghosted the United States. Some believe Ethan fled to South America, where millions in US currency can be exchanged with relative ease on the black market. Others think he's still in the country, living under a new identity, the money hidden away in storage units or buried in the desert.
Ethan's not the type who would blow it on yachts or drugs. If he planned this for years, he probably planned the aftermath too.
Criminal psychologists have dissected the case in journals and podcasts, calling it a rare example of a low-violence, high-intelligence theft.
Ethan exploited something fundamental: trust. Casinos are fortresses, but they still rely on human cooperation. By walking with purpose and looking like he belonged, he turned their own system against them.
The theft has become a case study in security circles, taught as a cautionary tale about insider adjacency. Crimes committed not by employees with direct access to money, but by those in the periphery who see opportunities others miss. As of 2025, the $32 million theft remains unsolved. The FBI maintains an open file, but leads have gone cold. No ransom notes, no sightings, no recovered cash. Just a man who parked cars for a living. Until one night, he parked $32 million somewhere no one has found.
We like to believe the house always wins, but for one night in 2019, the house lost. And it still hasn't gotten its money back.
Ethan Vega remains at large. If alive, he would be 34 years old. The FBI is offering a $1 million reward for information leading to his arrest.